Uriah Hall, thank you for being the most requested guest of the JAXXON podcast. Now, one thing I want to talk about, Le'Veon Bell. Boxing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, how did this even happen?
Literally sitting on my couch after retiring. I was a little depressed because, I walked away and it was a little political. I didn't really want to retire, to be honest. I'm like, I'm still in my prime. I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just not going to show up. And my coach kind of pleaded with me. It's a better route. I was like, why? He's like, it will look better. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, you got cut from, my life is ruined. I got cut. So I didn't really care. But, he kind of pleaded with me. And I was like, fine, I'll retire. And it hurt, man, because, my mindset was set on something. I didn't capture the gold, and I always wanted to. So that was my plan for a lot of these fighters that are in there. And since that opportunity didn't happen, you have to live with that what if, which is the worst shit you want to live with, And the first week, I didn't move from my couch. I sat there and I didn't move. I was so depressed. I didn't know what to do. No one was listening. No one was asking the right questions. It was more like, what are you going to do? What's next? How much money you got? It's like, hey, man, how about, do you need something? You all right? I didn't hear any of that. And I just felt deeper. My firearm was on the fucking counter table. Oof.
Don't go there. Come on.
It was. I'm not going to lie. I'm being straight up. If you don't want me to talk about it, I won't.
No,
he's saying it like for you.
I'm just saying I really went to a dark place. I know a lot of men.
A lot of us been there.
I know a lot of men, and I've never really experienced that. And where I said, this is the way out, because martial arts is what I knew my entire life. And, when you listen to the media and all this other stuff and they kind of drilling you, you're not good. You're like, oh, man, maybe I'm not. You start to believe it. The power of social media and the power of influence people have on you by just words and not having the right support system to say, dude, fuck all that. Don't listen to them. I was alone. And I was looking at my firearm for a week. Like, I could just end it right now. It wouldn't make sense. My mom wouldn't be too much. I was thinking about shit like that. And I didn't go through with it because when I was a kid, my mother told me, if you ever kill yourself, you're going to hell. I'm like, why? Because you kill yourself. You got to die naturally. So, it was a kid mentality thing, but I knew I just couldn't go out like that. And I'm not going to lie, I crawled out of it. I remember going outside. I looked at the sun a little bit like that, and I went to train. It didn't feel the same. There was no purpose. I was going through the motion. I saw the look. There's a different look you get, and I'm like, what do I do with myself? And this small voice just said, just keep going. I'm like, but it doesn't make sense. Just keep going. And I kept showing up, and it's like a slow engine that just slowly start to pick up. And the more it picked up, I just found myself around the right people, the confidants, not the constituents, to just say things or be there when you're on top. Lost a lot of people like that, which is a good thing because then you really put yourself with the people that need to be around you. And it just kind of opened my eyes. So looking back, like Steve Jobs says, the dots are connected. When you look back, you realize why they all connected the way they did. And I feel like I needed to be there to understand a different version of myself, to move forward. And now I do some public speaking when I do get a chance. I do anti-bullying campaigns because I was bullied as a kid. And I wish I had someone come to school and say, hey, man, this is just a moment in your life. There's taxes after this, I didn't have that. So a positive reinforcement I try to give to these kids. And, I've done a couple stuff where people are like, you're not a motivational speaker? I'm like, no, I'm casual, and that mindset is going out there. I'm potentially writing a book. There's a bunch of other projects I'm working on, so my engine is slowly starting again. It's just another chapter. It's new adventure. It's like walking again, because again, as a fighter, I had a singular focus, and to not capture it, it's like, well, what else do I do? And I didn't know how to get out of that. Everybody can be like, yeah, just go here, but I didn't know how to do it, so I had to figure that out on my own.